Welcome to the NDS Quality Bytes series, part 3 of 4, third-party verification. So this is the third quality byte of 4. The content we will look at in this byte is the details on the third-party verification process. We'll look at the list of NDS approved third-party verifiers. We'll look at questions to ask when choosing a third-party verifier. What is appropriate evidence? We'll look at establishing a timetable for the on-site review. A look at key roles of your organisation's third-party verifying body contact. We'll look at what occurs with simultaneous reviews, rating descriptors, how the third-party verifiers will rate your performance against each standard, and some tips for success. So what is third-party verification? Third-party verification is a process of an impartial and competent party reviewing evidence to establish that an organisation meets the New South Wales Disability Services standards. The verification is conducted by independent approved bodies whose profiles are listed on the NDS website. As part of the review, third-party verification takes into account outputs from any other accreditation or certification against other industry standards that you may have already in place. Verification looks for adequate and relevant evidence to form a finding that practices are in place that meet the requirements of the Disability Services standards. It will identify areas that are functioning well and those which may need improvement. As part of the review, third-party verification takes into account outputs from other accreditation or certification against other industry standards. So, who are the approved third-party verifying bodies? Best Practice Certification, Health Audit New Zealand, the Institute for Healthy Communities, SAI Global Certification Services, Global Mark, Quality Innovation Performance, BSI Incorporating NCS International, HDAA, International Standard Certifications, Council on Quality and Leadership, and the Australian Council on Healthcare Standards. Again, these are found on the NDS website. Now, choosing a third-party verifying body, some questions you may consider asking. What experience does the TPV have in working with your client group or profile or your program type? What are their customers saying? They are required to put a list of organisations they currently work with. You may know of them or you may wish to contact them. You can ask other peer organisations for feedback of verifying bodies they may use. You may want to ask them, will they recognise your current accreditation certification? And if you are certified currently by another set of standards, and check if the body that you use for that purpose is on the approved NDS list. You may want to use them again if you are happy with their performance. Are they available at a time that suits your organisation? And how do costs compare? It's important to get some quotes and look at what they're offering for the price. And it's important to ask that travel and accommodation costs be included in the quote, because these will be covered by the subsidy if you are eligible. Preparing for third-party verification. The scope of the review or verification is what will be included as evidence in the review. So this is determined by a number of factors. The number and types of programs that you deliver, the size of the service, the types of disability that use your service, the geographic locations of your services, and the number of sites and number of clients. You will need to agree on the verification visit dates with your third-party verifying body, so it should be a date that suits both parties, and that you will be asked to provide your self-assessment to the third-party verifying body, which will assist in the verification process. A timetable or schedule of your review will need to be negotiated with the verification team leader prior to the visit. This timetable spells out when the interviews are occurring, the locations of site visits, and the document review for the whole duration of the review. The review will be based at head office plus additional sites where this is relevant. You're required to line up and prepare all participants required to be involved in the review. So this is important to ensure key staff will be available at the time of the review. And also your role is to ensure all evidence is ready and available for the verifying team. So what is involved during the third-party verification activity? They will want to do some pre-review preparation and planning with you. They will want to ensure that you are ready to perform your best at the on-site review. The on-site review by the third-party verifying body is to validate your evidence meets the New South Wales Disability Service standards via site tour, interviews with key people such as board members, staff, senior management, and clients and family members, as well as document review. At the conclusion of the days of the review, there will be an exit interview or debrief where they will inform you of your strengths and if there are any gaps that are required to be addressed, and the time that will be allowed for you to the time to address the gaps that they have found. So in considering what evidence is appropriate to demonstrate you feel you meet the standards, it's important to consider that evidence provides feedback or proof about the current status of your services and programs. It strengthens your position for meeting the standards. It's important to ensure that the evidence you provide is relevant, i.e. that it relates to the relevant standard under examination, that it is current, so it's recent enough to confirm practice still exists and is currently ongoing, and is reliable so that it delivers consistent results over time. And make sure that your evidence can be corroborated or supported by more than one source of information. What is expected of your organisation at the review? You'll be asked to provide your self-assessment if you haven't already provided it. You will need to provide evidence on any other external assessment results or certification, and you will need to put your best, most relevant evidence forward. Rating descriptors. These descriptions are the determinators of how a standard will be rated. So for a standard that meets the Disability Service Standards requirements, your organisation should show its practices and processes are consistently implemented in an effective manner and meet the Disability Services Standards. A third-party verifying body can also determine that a standard may be met in part. This is where the organisation is able to provide evidence of consistent, documented practices and processes for some of the requirements. Further improvement is required for one or more standards to demonstrate the organisation meets the Disability Service Standards. And where they determine a standard is not met, this is where an organisation is not able to provide evidence of consistent documented practices or processes. Significant improvement is required in one or more standards to demonstrate the organisation meets the New South Wales Disability Service Standards. Some common feedback that organisations that have been through verification have provided. They certainly acknowledge that completing the self-assessment can take time. However, they've said that it is easier to appreciate the value of the process after the verification has been completed. It is common, a common comment that they were surprised with the high percentage of work they had already in place that met the standards. And this is also a common comment. Continuous improvement is now better integrated into everyday work culture. We are proud to say and promote that we have independent verification that we meet the standards. So, key resources for third-party verification. Again, we direct you to the New South Wales Quality page, www.nds.org.au/projects/article/102. And there are resources there on questions to ask when choosing a third-party verification body, information on the subsidy that will cover the cost or contribute to the cost of verification, and the TPV profiles are listed. For further information, contact our webpage, the ADAC webpage, or both Jenny Klaus or Adrian Marshall at qualitynsw@nds.org.au. And the final session of the Quality Bites sessions is looking at beyond compliance of the ADAC quality requirements into the future. Thank you.